So, hi, Andrea. Welcome to the Stephen Shiels radio show. I've come across your work on Insight Timer on your journaling course. What's been your journey?
Uh, that's a very loaded question. My journey's been a very long and twisted one. I ended up at meditation through a very unique route in that I am actually financially trained, have my master's, and worked in corporate finance, investing, and had a miniature midlife crisis when I was going through a divorce and really started to explore spirituality
Mm-hmm.
and was just kind of taken with it and ended up getting my meditation teacher certificate, and journaling is one of the ways that I got through everything. And it's been an interesting road.
Yeah, because I enjoy journaling. It was such a help. But that's interesting coming from the corporate world and then changing careers. Were you ever happy in the corporate world, Andrea?
Yes and no.
Mm-hmm.
I actually left the corporate world about 20 years ago and opened an event planning business.
Mm-hmm.
And so did that for a while. And then when my son was born, I actually ended up doing for other people finance work. So part-time CFO work, bookkeeping, kind of stayed in that finance realm, but for myself. So corporate world was definitely not for me, but I did get out and stay in finance. In fact, I still do finance stuff on the side, more for fun now, but it's in my blood, so I keep doing it. So, and that's how I got here.
And have you enjoyed being on Insight Timer I think you're teaching yoga, are you, as well?
No yoga for me. I do mainly journaling, but then also do channeled messages and stuff like that. I love Insight Timer. I actually started Insight Timer as a student years ago, and a couple years ago became a teacher after I had been on there for a while. And I love the community. I love what you can find on there. It's unlike other meditation apps that specialize in just one area. And I like that. I actually even hesitate to call it a meditation app because there's so much more than meditation.
I know you're into journaling. I like journaling as well. Journaling with music. Do you have any particular styles that you like to practice?
I kind of blend my journaling style for the most part. I kind of start with a free flow write, and then if I'm not getting anywhere, I might go to a different technique and just kind of flow between all of them. But most of the time, I start out my morning with just a very simple, just open free write and see where it takes me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember in the course I did with you on Insight Timer, there was the thing called a brain dump as well, where you just lay it all on the paper. That was pretty cool.
I do that every single night before bed. About an hour before bedtime, I'll do a big brain dump, just get it out.
And what, like, with your journey as well, going through a divorce is not the same. My parents are divorced, so it's not easy. How have you moved on from that in your life?
I personally used it as a time to really stop and assess just everything. I didn't want to move into another relationship and have the same issues. So I really took the time to heal old emotional wounds, fully recover, address some limiting beliefs. And I dug in for probably a good 4 or 5 years and did some really deep emotional healing work so that I don't run into the same issues again, because we repeat the cycle until we learn the lesson. And so for me, it was really good because it took me to places in myself that I never, ever would have been if I hadn't gone that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, look, 2018, I didn't have a very good year of my life, but I came across Michael McIntosh actually, and things really helped, So I'm very thankful for Insight Timer. I've got a circle called the Law of Attraction Circle as well. You're welcome to
Nice.
post your work in there as well. And yeah, it's amazing. I love the live streaming of it as well too, and the
Yeah.
communities around Insight Timer.
Yeah, it's always fun to see what everybody else is doing for the lives, and always just hop on and see what new you can learn. There's always something new and interesting.
So how have you been keeping busy yourself as a meditation teacher? Are you doing this full time, or is this part time for you, Andrea?
It's the meditation portion is probably more part time, because I also do spiritual coaching, and then I also do like past life regression. And so I do, it's kind of a mix, whereas the meditation, I record probably 2 or 3 a month, we'll call it that. So the meditation portion is definitely more part-time. And then, like I said, I still do the finance stuff also. So
That
it's
is
kind of
so
a nice
cool.
blend.
Yeah. And how's your health during all this current pandemic as well? Because in Sydney, we are in a lockdown and it sucks.
I've been holding up pretty good. We are not in a lockdown, although we probably should be by our numbers, but we're doing good. One nice thing about working for myself is I do work from home, and I can control who I see and how I interact. So it's a little bit easier. My son actually just went back to school 3 days ago, last week, for the first time since March of 2020. So it's been an interesting 18 months.
Yeah, the corporate world is interesting. How you're saying that, you're being successful in the corporate world, but, by the sounds of it, you weren't that happy. It's very interesting.
Yeah, I didn't mind it. What I didn't like was the micromanagers. And in the finance world, there's a lot of micromanagers, because we don't like it when there's a penny off. The problem is I didn't like that as a management style. So it wasn't even the work or even the people that I was with. I didn't like being managed.
Yeah, it's a bit of slavery, isn't it? Up the top, you wouldn't believe it. An employee pays more tax than the CEO of a mining corporation. That's not fair.
No, taxes is a unique breed.
Like Amazon pays way less tax than their employees do. So I'd rather give my money to a meditation teacher like yourself instead of Amazon or a corporation.
Well, I appreciate that.
Or Insight Timer, But
I always try to buy local and small, because there are so many people that, it's a direct benefit to, and I like it. It makes me feel better.
I like your pictures in the background. Are they artwork, or did you paint them?
The umbrellas I bought, and then the ocean picture is a canvas print of a picture I took. So.
Nice.
Yeah.
But what do you participate in creative activities, Andrea?
I do. I try to stay as creative as possible, because I think it's a great way to just have better insight into everything. So I do nature photography and creative writing, and that's typically it. Occasionally I will attempt to paint, but it is not my strong suit. So I stick with photography and creative writing.
There's lots of cool apps now that you can just take a photo and make it look like an oil painting. I choose to make life easier.
That sounds cool. I did not know you could do that. And
there's Canva as well. That's what I use for my YouTube and my album covers too. Yeah, and so what's next for you? What are your goals on Insight Timer?
Right now I'm just getting ready to set up a new schedule for lives, because I kind of took the summer off with my son on school break and everything. So now that he's back, I'm getting ready to set up those. The journaling course has been out for about a month now, and I'm trying to decide if I want to dive back in and do another one, or if I just want to kind of do the lives for a while, which is probably the route I'm going to go for a little bit.
And
So
do you record your live streams and publish them after, in case we've missed them?
I have tried it once and I did not like the audio quality. So what I do is if I do want to share it again, because a lot of the lives I do are very interactive in the moment. So like this week I'm doing one where it's Oracle card journaling. So I'll pull an Oracle card and we'll journal on it right there. That one you really can't, it doesn't work to redo it.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm teaching, then I will typically re-record it and use it as a YouTube video instead.
Mm-hmm.
So they're supposed to be working on something that will make lives available later, but that isn't out yet. And right now I don't like the tech on doing it myself.
No, it's always good in case people miss the live stream. You can go and listen to the recording too.
Yep.
There's ways around it. You can just mix it and, master it, make it better audio quality.
Yeah, and that just all takes time. So I usually figure, if I'm going to do it again, I might as well toss it on YouTube. And sometimes I'll do lives on YouTube for that reason, that YouTube just automatically puts it out and it's available then right away.
Yeah. So. And do you practice yoga? Because I love yoga.
I do, not as regularly as I would like to, but I absolutely do. I like the old school Hatha traditional style yoga. Mm-hmm. So I use it much more as a restorative practice versus a lot of people using it as exercise.
Yeah, I use a yoga app called Down Dog Yoga. They're very good. They're more community focused. They gave free subscriptions during the pandemic.
Oh, nice.
So if I was an investor, I'd invest in a company like that or Insight Timer.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so cool.
Yep.
I know Insight Timer is very strict with self-promotion too, I've noticed.
Yes, they are.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing, you reckon?
As a business owner, I understand exactly why they're doing it. Mm-hmm. I understand the thought process for them. On the flip side, as a business owner who teaches on there, it can be very frustrating because you want to guide your students to the right resources, even if those resources aren't necessarily on where you're at that particular moment in time. So when somebody says, where do I find this or where do I go to this? I'm technically not supposed to say it, but I don't want to not give somebody the resources that they need when they need them.
Yeah,
so I understand both sides, and it's just something you have to work with.
Yeah, it's because I shared an interview I did with Jason Stevenson on my YouTube channel into the Insight Timer circle, but then they locked me account. I don't know, so I had to message them on Messenger, and I apologized. I said, "Look, I'm promoting a teacher on Insight Timer, Jason Stevenson," and but they let me back in. But yeah, they are very strict. Some of the circles are, I've noticed on StressFit Circle, are sharing things on Google Drive that are meditation related to. But I don't know. They're just very strict.
Yeah, and I understand why they're doing that, because they provide so much for free and they're providing a platform to build a community. And every time a platform like that opens it up to everybody being able to fully promote, that's when your spammers come in. That's when that actually ends up ruining the culture that they've worked so hard to develop. So I do actually appreciate some of the strictness, because it does keep out, not all of them, but a lot of the scammers.
Yeah, in my circle too, I had a few people posting about some marketing and WhatsApp, so just a business marketing or sort of a get rich quick scheme. But I kick them out and I report them.
Yep. But it's with the rules that they have in place, it's harder for those people to hop on than they would. Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, like all of those platforms have so many spam issues because it's a free-for-all. And so, like I said, I understand both sides of it. I understand why they're super strict about it. And I just have to try and do the best I can to get my students what they need without breaking the rules.
Yeah, a lot of social media is full of spam.
A lot of it.
Yeah, like, you know what I don't like? Just say you buy something from Amazon, right? They start sending out these, like, a lot of spam emails, marketing emails after. Like, all the corporations, they piss me off because, like, I just want to buy something and then they just start bombarding people with advertising mails.
Yeah, the nice thing about that is you just click unsubscribe and...
Oh, they still do it. Andrea,
and that's when you hit the spam button.
Exactly, or ignore it. But yeah, that's what it is. I mean, I don't like to sign up to corporations' email lists. Like,
yeah,
I'm sure there's corporations where you are. There are in Australia too. But yeah, I like I said, it's good that there's a community on Insight Timer.
I think that's one of the strongest points that they have, besides for the variety, is the community.
So what's on your reading list? Are you a book reader?
I'm a big-time book reader. Right now I'm actually reading a mystery novel. I usually read almost nothing but nonfiction, but I've forced myself in the past month or so to actually read a couple fiction books to add some variety to my life. And then other than that, I read all the time. So, and just about any subject too. So.
Yeah, I like Japanese history, Andrea. I'm reading about, just almost finished a book about, the brief history of the samurais in Japan.
Nice.
Very fascinating. I like reading Australian history books. There was The Fortunate Life by A.B. Facey. I listened to that on Audible. I'm listening to some stuff by Wayne Dyer on Audible as well. Actually, I picked up a CD as well from just a local, exchange bookshop, Wayne Dyer, for $5. So I was listening to that. And it's amazing when you listen to some of these audios, maybe I haven't listened to this for maybe a year and a half, just the stuff I've learned just from re-listening to Wayne Dyer on an audio CD.
Oh, yeah. I remember I used to love listening to Zig Ziglar. And I would listen to his CDs just on repeat. Because sometimes it's just about reintroducing the concepts, like the book The Four Agreements. I've read that. I've actually quit counting how many times I've read it, but it's at least 5. And every single time I pick up something new. And it's as we evolve and grow and change and our life changes, the way we interpret and hear things change. And so you can go read something, today, and then 5 years from now do it again, and it's a completely different book.
I know Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. I've read that twice. There was one he's got, I think, The Law of Success. That's a pretty thick book as well. Yeah, but, personal development books too, you got, like, some of them can be opinionated too. But I was always don't overload yourself too much with personal development books, Andrea.
I think you have to approach it from a very open mind, and that it's not the end all be all, because everybody needs something different. Everybody thinks different, functions different, has different beliefs. And so it's dangerous to go in and read a personal development book and go, this is the only way, because it might not be the right way for you. But I like to read a bunch of them from a bunch of different people to get everybody's idea and then formulate my opinion based on, 10 other people's ideas.
Exactly. It's, yeah, it can be very, broad as well, and many, many different opinions too, Andrea.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yep.
yeah, having an open mind is important.
And I always say it's also one of the only ways you grow. If you don't read other people's stuff that you don't agree with, then how do you know that what you think is right? And if it turns out it is right, then you've got, more information, and you only know what you know until you start adding other information in, and that's when you can really expand your horizons, and reading is a fantastic way to do that. So that's also one of the things I love about all the lives on Insight Timer is, you can have the same topic taught by a couple different people, and you'll get different things from everybody.
Have you read anything by Eckhart Tolle?
Yes. I read what was it, The Power of Now, and that's it. And that was a long time ago.
What's your opinion on Eckhart Tolle?
I like his ideas. I struggled to read his writing. And that's the other thing about reading is you want to read multiple because everybody teaches in a different way. Everybody writes in a different way. And I just didn't jive with his writing style. Now, I've listened to interviews of his, and I'm fine listening to him. His writing style is very different than my reading style.
Exactly. Yeah, I like Dr. Joe Dispenza's work. There's Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself as well. He's done some good stuff.
I actually haven't read any of his books, but I've watched some of his shows and videos and stuff.
Yeah, I'm doing a 30-day mind movie challenge at the moment. It's the morning and evening. I'm watching my mind movie.
Nice.
It's really interesting. Yeah, Stress Fit, gives us some little challenges to do on Insight Timer. And that's how, it's interesting, Dr. Joe Dispenza talking about the brain.
Yes. I love brain science, so that's I love anything like that I can get my hands on.
I think it's alpha, delta, beta, and theta brainwaves he talks about. Yeah, very interesting. Oh, I've got 2 of his books on Audible. I do. But it was a great podcast with you today, Andrea.
Well, thank you for having me on.
Where can people find you on social media or reach out to you on Insight Timer?
On Insight Timer, I'm there under Andrea Belzer. It's Belzer. On Instagram, I'm Andrea L. Belzer. And YouTube is Andrea Belzer. And then I'm on Twitter too, and it's Andrea Chats, I think. Yes, Andrea Chats. So, and that's actually all I'm on. I'm not on Facebook. I'm not I believe in picking a few and putting my time elsewhere.
Exactly.